Hey guys, and thank you for tuning in. I forgot to record an intro again, but we're just gonna get right into it, and I promise I'll get you one next time. So, I'm first starting out with the Step 1 Hydrating Primer from Makeup Forever, and I'm just gonna put this all over my face and rub it in. For foundation today, I'm gonna use the Matte Poreless Fit Me foundation from Maybelline. I'm in color 228, and it does start off a little bit yellow at first, but I rather yellow undertones than pink undertones because I think it makes me look a little bit too pink after the outcome. So I rather go with something that's yellow undertone, and then when you put your contour and bronzer, it looks way better. So I'm just buffing in the foundation with this Real Techniques sponge, and it does look a little bit too yellow, but like I said, when it's all finished after bronzer and after you basically beat the entire face, it does look a little bit better. For concealer, I'm going in with the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer, which is a really good concealer for a drugstore brand. I think Maybelline and L'Oreal are two of my favorite drugstore brands. They keep it consistent and it's a really quality product for the price you get. I did start out putting a little bit too much, but I kept blending it and it worked out in the end. I think the best technique you can learn in makeup is blending. Whenever you do something wrong, whenever there's just too much product, the best thing you can do is just blend. And it's just one of those techniques that, it's easy and you could get away with anything. So to set the concealer and the rest of my face, I'm going to go in with this Too Faced foundation powder. And for my tutorials, I think it's always, a breath of fresh air to use new products. So I'm not going to use a setting powder. I'm just going to use this foundation powder. And it's a decent powder. However, I am hitting pan on it. So I probably will be trying something else because it does get into my fine line a little bit if I'm being honest. I will be listing everything in the description box as per usual. And as you guys can see, on the right hand side is the palette that I'll be using. And of course, it's the Morphe palette. And on the left hand side, it's going to be the names of the brushes in case you want to get them. Most of my brushes are from Morphe. They're very affordable brushes and they're so good. They're very good quality. For the eyeshadow, I started off with a very neutral color, and that's going to be my transition shade. I went in with another neutral color, which is kind of this light orangey, whimsical kind of color. So I went in with that, blended in with the yellowy color that I first used, and I'm using the same brush. I'm focusing more on the outer corners of the eye, and then whatever is left over, I'm bringing it in the inner corners of the eye. But the two main focus is the inner and the outer corners of the eye. That's where I'm putting most of the product. Where the eyelid is blank right now is where we're going to put the pigment, so we don't really want to put any harsh lines above that. So what we want to do is really kind of create a gradient effect. And this brown that I'm using, it's more of a warmer brown, and I'm just blending that in with the orange. And I'm using a Morphe E22 for this if you guys didn't catch it earlier. And basically I'm just blending in all these colors that I have right now, and I'm pulling that eyeshadow more on the outer perimeters of the eye. If you guys don't want it so long, because I love a good thick wing, if you guys don't want your eyeshadow that long out, you could just keep more lower and more on the inner side, I guess. Does that make sense? So definitely don't pull it out like I'm doing. Definitely start closer, more towards the center of the eyelids. Now with the Morphe E18, I'm going to pack on the darkest color we're going to pack on for this eyeshadow. And it's kind of this chocolatey brown shadow. It reminds me of Makeup Geek Americano, I believe. And we're just going to pack it on in the beginning, and then we're going to pull it out, and we're going to take another brush and we're going to start blending that in. I'm also going to put that on the inner corners of the eye, but we're not going to put it above the eyelid because, like I said, we kind of want that gradient effect because we are going to put pigment on the lids. Now I'm going in again with that E22 brush from before, and I'm not putting any product on this brush, just whatever we had before, and I'm just gonna start blending this color in because we don't want to leave it like that. It looks a little bit harsh. We want to blend it in so it blends in with all the other shades. And a really good tip for eyeshadows like this is you really want to pack on the color and you want to layer it. I think layer is key for eyeshadows like this or looks like this, because you kind of get this really great, you know, gradient effect. I know I said gradient like a million times, but it's just a really good look. Now for the pigment, I'm using Bella Pierre pigment in Celebration, and it's kind of this gold pigment. It's really good. However, the only thing I don't like about it is that if I spray it with a mix-in spray like Fix Plus or a setting spray to kind of intensify the look, it does melt the product. And I guess it wasn't kind of like what I was expecting, but it's still a great product to have. Now I'm cleaning up this look and I'm gonna sharpen that eyeliner. It's not an eyeliner, but it's kind of a eyeliner eyeshadow look. You guys know what I mean, come on. So first I'm gonna take the wipe and I'm just gonna kind of, you know, dab on it a little bit, and then I'm gonna get my beauty sponge and whatever makeup was left over on that, whatever foundation, I'm just gonna tap it in and voila, it's gone. So pretty simple trick. So now I'm actually going to pick up that Fix Plus, which actually broke after filming. So sad. Anyways, I'm going to pick it up on a flat definer brush, and I'm just going to take the pigment, which is now a little bit more liquidy and a little bit more intense, and I'm going to put it on the lids. For the inner corners, I'm just going to put the lightest shade in that palette. It's literally the lightest shade in that palette. I'm just going to put it there for a little bit more pop, and also on the brow bone. So using that same flat definer brush we used a couple seconds ago, I'm going to take those eyeshadows we used on the top, especially that dark brown, and I'm just going to smudge it into my waterline. For mascara, I'm actually using the Maybelline Big Shot, and for contouring, I'm using the Katvond contour kit. It's probably the one thing that and Champagne Pop, Jaclyn's kit, you're going to see in like almost every single video. It's just like two holy grail products of mine. For lipstick, I'm going in with NYX Tea Rose, I believe it's called. However, don't quote me on that. I'm gonna leave it in the description box for sure. It's kind of this baby pink, and I didn't put a lot on because I kind of wanted to keep the lips as neutral as possible. I did, however, end up putting some of Jeffree Star's pumpkin on there to kind of make it a little bit more orangey to go with the eyes. And of course, I have to go in with Champagne Pop. I mixed a little bit of Champagne Pop with Prosecco Pop, but it was mostly Prosecco Pop. And my mom had came in the room, so I was a little bit shy. You know how it goes. And again, I forgot to film an intro, so you guys have to excuse me, but this will be the end of the video. And I just want to thank you guys so much for those of you who are tuning in here on my channel. Thank you guys so much for the support, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.